The studio lights were blinding, the cameras rolling, and the nation tuned in to watch what was supposed to be a polite morning conversation. But within minutes, it turned into one of the most talked about clashes in television history. Senator John Kennedy sat on one side of the table, his southern drawl calm but his eyes sharp with determination. Across from him was George Stephanopoulos, the polished host of Good Morning America, known for his quick wit and sharper questions. No one in that audience, not even the producers behind the glass, had any idea just how explosive the next hour would become. It began innocently enough. George asked a question about politics, about policy, about where the country was heading. Kennedy responded, giving his views with honesty and conviction. But George wasn't satisfied. He pressed harder, interrupting, twisting words, trying to corner Kennedy into a soundbite that would trend online. That was when the sparks flew. "Now hold on just a second," Kennedy said, his voice firm, cutting through the polished chaos of TV chatter. "You don't get to put words in my mouth. You asked me a question, and I'm giving you the truth. If the truth makes you uncomfortable, that's not my problem, it's yours." The studio audience gasped. George tried to regain control, but Kennedy leaned in, his tone unwavering. He spoke not like a politician but like a man who had nothing to lose and everything to defend. He talked about the struggles of working families, the fear in people's eyes when bills piled up higher than paychecks, and the hollow promises of leaders who only cared about headlines. Every word carried weight, and it shook the room. George grew frustrated. He tried to cut Kennedy off again, only for the senator to snap back, "George, if you want to talk over me, that's your right. But you're not going to silence me. Not today. Not when so many people out there need someone to speak for them." That was the breaking point. The producers rushed in through the stage doors, signaling for the cameras to cut. George, red-faced, threw his papers down and demanded the interview end. Within minutes, Kennedy was being escorted out of the studio. Kicked off, live in front of millions of viewers. But here's the thing, what was meant to humiliate him only fueled the fire. The clips spread like wildfire across social media. People replayed his words, shared them, and felt something stir in their hearts. They weren't just hearing a senator argue with a host, they were hearing someone finally say what had been bottled up in the hearts of everyday Americans. That afternoon, Kennedy walked out of the ABC studio into the bright New York sunlight. He could have been bitter. He could have been angry. Instead, he smiled. Reporters swarmed him, asking if he regretted the clash. He answered simply, "Not one bit. Sometimes the truth doesn't fit neatly into a TV segment. Sometimes the truth doesn't make for polite conversation. But it's still